Hey, how's it going, guys? Mr. Boss for the win here, and in today's Grand Theft Auto 5 video, we're going to be talking about 10 things that GTA 5 single player does better than Grand Theft Auto Online. So I saw a post by Subsonic Dust on the GTA 5 subreddit, and he was basically comparing a couple things in Grand Theft Auto Online versus GTA 5 single player, and I thought to myself, what other things does single player do a little bit better than online? That if it was in online or if some of the features were there, it would actually improve it. So we're going to be talking about those 10 things in this video today. Let me know if you have any more in the comment section down below. But with all the way, let's not waste any more time and let's get it started. All right, so this is in no particular order here. The first thing, though, at the #1 spot is animals. So this is an amazing part, especially of the current generation version of GTA 5. Animals, man. Whether you're in the city and you see some crazy pedestrian lady walking her dog, or whether you're in the wild and you see mountain lions all about, or even in the ocean, which is probably the most beautiful part of the game with all the sharks and the whales. If you just sit there and enjoy it, it really is insane at how much animal life there is. And to see all of that stripped in online is pretty disheartening. I'm pretty sure there's a couple small fish, maybe some cockroaches, maybe some ants or something like that, but that's it. Rockstar have excluded all of the main animals, and that's kind of upsetting. Now, I understand why, because in order to put animals in the game, they would have to sync it with all the different online players. That would cause a ton of desync and lag, and there's already enough of that already. But what I'm thinking is Rockstar could implement like a pet system. So you either have like a cat, a dog, whatever other sort of pets there are, and they're limited to the inside of your property. How cool would it be to have like a dog roaming around your CEO office or your motorcycle club? That would be awesome. Rockstar wouldn't have to load that in the game for everyone because it would only be in your CEO office or your biker club. So that would actually be pretty cool. That's one idea I have for animals, and I'm hoping that going forward, Rockstar may consider something like that, as it's one of the biggest things missing, in my opinion, from online. All right, at the #2 spot, aircrafts. Now, in single player, there is a ton of awesome airplanes that, whether it's missions or in free mode, you get to fly, like the cargo plane, the blimps, for example. Those are lots of fun. The Skylift helicopter, too. Those are just 3 examples right there of a lot of awesome aircrafts that we get to use in single player, but don't come anywhere near Grand Theft Auto Online, which is a little bit unfortunate, especially given how cool they are, which is why in some of the live streams I do, you see us playing around with the modded cargo planes and modded Titans and opening up the back of them, because they're a lot of fun. I understand their size and their usefulness may not make sense for online, but they're fun. And at the end of the day, that is what I think is missing in that in Grand Theft Auto Online that we have in single player. At the #3 spot, I'm combining these two. It's NPC density and NPC car density. So if you go to a place like Vespucci Beach in single player, you'll notice that it's sprawling with characters and players. However, if you go there on online, sometimes it can almost feel empty. What's the difference there? And the same thing with the car variety. The running joke in all the old GTA games is that if you saw one car, that's the only car you would see. GTA 5 seems to have done a little bit better job with that. However, in online, it kind of goes back to that old fallacy where if you see one car, that's all you're going to see. So the NPC variety and the fact that there's DLC cars that spawn in the street in single player now is pretty cool. And it really does add to the just diverse factor that is single player and makes it more relatable to real life, which I think is nice also. At the #4 spot, phone variety. So in Grand Theft Auto Online, all of us have like that generic iPhone. It's the same one that Michael has in single player. I think Franklin has an Android and Trevor has a Windows phone. It would be cool to be able to choose between like those 3 options, because I know not all of us have an iPhone. Some of us have Android, some of us have Windows, some of us may even have like LG or Google phones. So it would be cool to see a little bit more variety, really, other than just like changing the background and the ringtone, which I never really even have on anyway, so I never hear it. But regardless, that would be pretty cool. Just like how the 3 characters have their own individual phones, it would be cool to see something like that in Grand Theft Auto Online. At the #5 spot, random NPC events. So the 2 things I'm talking about here are like the blue and red blips that you see on the map, but also the strangers and freaks. Now, I get the strangers and freaks are campaign missions, but I'd still like to see those crazy characters in online. Maybe be able to interact with them, talk with them, have the option to shoot them or do something to them. I think that could be pretty cool. The random events are nice too. Not only do they net a little bit of cash, but it is, again, a more dynamic and interactive world. And that seems to be the common theme that's missing from online that's in single player, player is that interactiveness between yourself and ultimately the world of Los Santos and the characters and the NPCs in them. So that right there would be pretty awesome. Unfortunately, I don't see those coming to online anytime soon, but a guy can dream, so hopefully one day. The number 6 spot, owning businesses. So I'm not talking about like your biker clubhouse or whether this militia DLC is going to be or anything like that. I'm talking about the businesses that you own that makes you money. Like how Michael can own the golf club, or Trevor can own like the hen house, or Franklin can own the taxi cab company. Now, to a degree, I liked the way the older GTAs did it, like Vice City and even San Andreas. But in GTA 5, the fact that we can own the businesses would be cool. How awesome would that be in online if you could have, stake in the Bahama Mamas nightclub, or you could own stock in ammunition or Los Santos custom shop? That would be really cool. And owning businesses could be a very lucrative way to generate money. And I don't know why Rockstar has kind of done that. They haven't opened up the boss sack or anything like that, any of these like online, money economy markets. So that's kind of a shame, as that was one of the coolest parts of single player, manipulating the stock market to your advantage and then ultimately making tons of money off of that. At the number 7 spot, driving physics. Now, there's one thing in particular that I really like about single player, and that is getting tossed out of a car if you have a head-on collision with another driver or an object. Not only is that semi-realistic, but it's also it makes you drive a little bit more carefully. And could you imagine all the shenanigans that would happen in online if 2 players could run into each other and their bodies would be flown out of the car in opposite directions? Not only could it be really cool, but there could also just be some epic things that are built from something like that. It just seems as if they took all the epic driving features of single player and none of them made its way into online. It's just like standard collisions, and the cars almost feel cartoony to a degree. So I wish that they would do something like that. That could actually be a really awesome feature for online. All right, at the number 8 spot, the busted feature. So this would actually be cool if Rockstar utilized the police station and the jail. So when you get busted, the thing that people hate the most is that you lose all your weapons. Well, what if there was a chance to not have that happen? So if you got busted, you would be sent to jail. You would then have the option to escape from jail or pay a fine. If you paid the fine, you would lose your weapons. But if you tried to escape, you could try and go to like the locker room where your weapons are, grab them and escape. And if you get out, you get out. But if you fail, you're sent to Bolingbroke Penitentiary up in Sandy Shores, which you then have to escape from in order to get out, or pay an even heavier fine to get out. I think that could be pretty cool, because right now the police station is worthless outside of a couple of biker missions and the heist mission, and the Bolingbroke Penitentiary is never used for outside of the heist mission once again. Really cool elements of GTA 5 and Los Santos and San Andreas that are just not used in the game, which again is really unfortunate because they were put there in the first place. Let's have some use for them. They're pretty cool, and I think that those elements would be awesome if a busted feature were introduced just like it was in single player. At the number 9 spot, finding fully modified cars around the city. So it's always really fun when you travel to a new place and there's like a boom, like a random car that's been modified and upgraded. For example, there's 2 that I know of. One of them is in Richard's Majestic. This random Roosevelt will actually spawn, and it's fully upgraded. Also, by one of the country music stations up in Sandy Shores, there's a Liberator monster truck that spawns there. Random things that you would just stumble upon while playing the game the first time, that you would think to yourself, oh man, that is actually really awesome. So that is incredibly cool right there. And to a degree, we get that in online with the randomized modified NPC cars, but nothing to the degree in which we have in single player, which I think is really fun. It would also be cool if like rare cars could spawn, and if you found them, you have to keep them and you'd have to pay for it. Almost like a bounty hunt system. That would be pretty awesome. Again, just some pretty cool ideas that I think would be epic if they were introduced into the online mode. And finally, last but not least, at the number 10 spot, enterable buildings. So in single player, a lot of the enterable buildings are done through missions, which is still kind of a bummer, like the Life Invader building, Tequila La, all sorts of other places like that. I would love it if there were some interiors opened up in this game. Obviously, one of them is like the Bahama Mamas nightclub, Tequila La, as I mentioned, maybe like a mall or a store like Cluck and Bell or something like that. There's so many amazing buildings, but this game really feels super two-dimensional because we're not allowed to go inside 95% of them. And even the ones we are really limited and restricted to campaigns or heists. A lot of what we saw with the heist would be like exiting a building at the very end. So I really wish Rockstar would consider opening up more areas, especially Turrible Buildings for us to use in GTA Online. I don't know if it's like a space issue or they just didn't intend on it, because all of that happened in GTA 4 and to a lesser degree, even the older GTAs like Vice City and San Andreas. So I don't really know what the issue is here in GTA 5. I guess really only Rockstar knows. But anyways, that is 10 things that I believe single player does better than Grand Theft Auto Online, and that I think should eventually be implemented into online as well. Let me know your thoughts, opinions more in the comment section down below. I'm pretty curious to hear from you guys down there. What do you think GTA 5 story mode does better than online? If you guys did go and enjoy this video though, a like rating would of course be awesome. And also subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new, where you like daily GTA 5 videos like this. With all the way guys, like I said, thanks so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.